years ago here, and thankfully, once it's there, it's pretty much in place, and you can just go to town. Every once in a while, you might need to contact cloud support for some issues, but that's only happened once or twice for us. So it's pretty solid once it's set up. But again, the Sensei AI uses the Adobe native catalog services. It's kind of like the overall like block of it's a bunch of little tools, but they call them catalog services, and it's provides powerful product discovery tools and merchandising capabilities. Catalog services, I think the easiest way to think about it is kind of an API-based microservice. It is really like a lot of API-based microservices that all kind of talk together and work with each other. But the main benefit of that is it's going to take the actual processing that's going on behind your search, on-site search, behind your product recommendations, and then if you get into the PLP widget, actually the rendering of the pages on your catalog and filtering, it takes it off of the core commerce platform, allowing for greatly increased performance and speed. And the difference there is, I mean, it's completely night and day. It really depends on how many filters you have, how big your catalog is. But it's just the ability to do it basically instantly on the cloud versus in your actual commerce core, having to search through every single product attribute every time you do a search. So our site, we have about 2,000 products right now, total of about 15,000 SKUs, and we have a bunch of different attributes. But sometimes filtering on our catalog pages can take 5 seconds, 6 seconds to render a filter selection, which is really getting into some friction territory. We're working really hard on getting that the PLP widget up, and those filters are literally instant. So it's a huge difference. And that gets to the next point. You are able to, with this, change facets of the search synonyms, how you want to boost berry items, and you're able to see trending items and react to them immediately. And those, to the point earlier about reindexing, those changes show up on the front end, basically, split second without having to do any reindexing or cache refreshes that are going to slow down your page speed. They do give us some nice, it is kind of like basic analytics, but it's really nice to be able to see just at a glance what's coming up, how many zero results you're getting, just to make sure that when you're setting these things up that you're doing it right. You go to the next slide, Mike. So this is just kind of a very, very basic overview diagram of how the catalog services work. Definitely note down at the bottom there, this is a highly simplified illustration just to demonstrate the concept. Real architecture is much, much more complex. We got to see it much more detail at the Champion Summit last week, but this is kind of just a basic thing. So it is, you can kind of think of it, again, API microservice. It's working off to the side of your commerce core. It's going to get all of your product catalog data, inventory, and pricing from your commerce core product catalog, store it all in the cloud server. You'll also input your kind of business rules, merchandising rules, and kind of configuration settings of how you want the products to display. And then once all of that is there and synced up with your product catalog, you're going to be able to, it basically just goes back and forth in between the front end with very fast API connections for user inputs, search queries, catalog navigation requests, and key point here, user shopping behavior real time. And that comes into play with both the product recommendations and the PLP widget catalog page rendering. So you're able to see what the actual user is doing on the site, and based on their shopping behavior and historical shopping behavior, you can then display very relevant recommendations to them with the recommended product modules. And that will look at any of the pricing signals that they're looking at, different kinds of products that they're looking at, and show them things that they are hopefully in the intent of looking to buy. Yeah, so that's just kind of an overview of how catalog services works. And we can skip to the next slide and go into the first piece of this, which is the live search. Um, we have implemented most of live search now, coming from the like original old school Elasticsearch. It's a huge difference. Definitely, I would say the features that are included in live search are now table stakes. If you don't have these in your site, I think customer experience is definitely going to suffer. You will piss people off. Just very simple stuff like predictive text, handling misspellings. You flub a letter on your keyboard while you're typing a quick search in. You still want the correct results to display. And again, with the just being able to render those immediately because of the cloud catalog services, instead of having to have the search engine like scroll through, literally through every product on your site to find results, is way faster, literally milliseconds versus seconds. I was very excited to hear semantic search is coming. I don't know if we're really allowed to say that out loud, so nobody repeat that outside of this group. That was new to me anyway from the Champion Summit last week. But I want to say that they told us Q1, Q2. Ingrid, do you remember a timeline on that?
I don't remember the timeline on that.
I feel like they said early next year. I asked about it like pointedly, and they were kind of I don't know if they gave us a definite answer. But side note here, and this is I think a great thing. These features previously required like very like stupid pricey add-ons like Constructor.io or Algolia. 5 years ago, Constructor.io was on like something like a revenue share model or something like that. Like they actually took a percentage of the converted sales that they gave you, which my management at the time did not want any part of. So very glad to see that these features are definitely included. Question: does live search work with all the front ends automatic like PWA or Hiva? It does. It does require that catalog services set up and syncing the integration with that. But Adobe Cloud Services can definitely help you set that up. But it definitely works with all the front ends. Mike, I think that's it for that slide. So I did just a little kind of visual representation of the live search popover. This is like the first part of the funnel that your users will get into, and as you can see, it's updating those results as the user types in. It doesn't know what to do with one letter, but once you hit that second letter, it's immediately popping up some relevant results for you. And as you continue to type, it narrows down that search. So that was a really a big improvement in user experience when we got that up on our site. It did take a little bit of configuration just around like the front end appearance of it, just getting it to match visually. But all of that stuff is pretty easy for a front end developer to get done. And you can go to the next slide. So this is the second part of the search. So once the user actually clicks or enters that search query, you'll get to this the live search results page. And as you can see here, it's going to display some relevant results. It's very similar to a normal PLP, but it does have dynamic filtering that is based on whatever the product attributes on the page are. And again, when as opposed to like the traditional PLPs, when these search results are rendered and filters are applied onto them, it's using the catalog services to give you some really fast, really relevant results. You are also able to run some merchandising rules on the search results page, where you can boost specific products that you want to promote. You can bury products that are out of stock, for example. You can sort them price high to low, things of that nature. So lots of good merchandising tools in there. Yep. And then so I touched on this briefly. The catalog services PLP category pages widget. This is basically gives you the ability to replace all of your catalog pages, like your traditional categories, with a live search rendered PLP page. And again, this gives you the benefit of really fast filtering. It gives you those merchandising rules. And you can see here, this is kind of the configuration of it. You can do most relevant based on the user's behavior, what we think they would want to see, price high to low, all of that kind of stuff recommended for you. Trending items is a great way to merchandise as well, and that's going to use basically all of your users' data. It's going to show what the most popular products that people are clicking on and what's being added to cart and purchased most. Fantastic. So moving, does anybody have any questions before we move on out of the live search? Wish list buttons, related categories inside the popover. I am not sure. I will say the popover is the popover and the PLP widget are fairly basic in the original configuration. We are actually looking at, I think add to cart buttons do come on. Mike, can you go back one slide? I want to say the add to cart button does come on the search results page. Sorry, 2 slides. No, it may not. I think add to cart you can add. I'm not positive on that. I don't know that you'd be able to add them inside the popover without some custom development. Our team is actually looking at on these PLP widget pages, being able to add the wish list button, as well as we display like a product attribute that's called a badge, which we have as just kind of new, or if there's a specific designer, it will show that, or a specific product line. So we're looking at that. I think we're going to have to do custom development in that. So they do kind of come pre-configured. You can adjust the styling to match your site, but some of those functionality you'll have to check on. Search, multi-language search, I believe that is supported. As long as I think you would need to set up a multi-language store. And I think once the store is set up as multi-language, the search would support that automatically. Index help and support pages. Yeah, this is so help and support pages. This search only works on the product catalog. It's not going to look at your content pages at all, unfortunately. There was a question about that at the conference, and I think the suggested answer was that you could have sort of a knowledge base or have that kind of in your chat widget to where it would have reference to those pages. But unfortunately, the catalog or the actual live search is only going to look at your catalog products. Infinite pagination, I believe, well, actually, I don't know if infinite pagination is possible in the PLP widget. And yeah, syncs with Adobe Commerce and live search data consistency risks. That I think hopefully Adobe Cloud Services could help you with that. With inventory, at least, it seems like they should be pretty close to immediate sync on that. Our pricing only changes a couple of times a year. And our inventory is definitely, we're a B2B site. We sell lots of pretty expensive products to a kind of niche market. So our inventory is not moving as much as, fast-paced D2C sites. So that's definitely a concern. I think that Adobe would tell you that that should not be something that should be an issue, but it may be something you need to contact cloud support on just to make sure that everything's flowing the way that it should. The live search API is taking 600, 800 milliseconds. Is that the actual? That's not the popover. That's the actual search query result. That I don't know. I would say that should be a cloud services thing. I think it should be pretty much immediate regardless. I've heard examples of like literally millions of SKUs, and I think the intent and what Adobe would tell you is it should be basically immediate. So if you're having that long of response time, I might contact your CSR and see if he can't put you in touch with support on that. And can we set this up in an integration environment and test it? Absolutely. We set ours up in one of our lower environments, tested it out fully, and then have pushed it up to our staging for full QA. And we have done that with the popover. We're working on search results page now, and the catalog PLP widgets will be after that. So fantastic. Well, moving into the product recommendations. So these, again, are using the Adobe Sensei AI. It's going to show basically there is some configuration of how you want these items to display, but the setup is really, really easy. You do have to install the extension, and you do have to have the Adobe Catalog Services module and server set up and integrated. But once that's there, so if you've already set up live search, and this is my experience, we set up live search about 2 years ago, learned through Corey Gelato, who's a fantastic resource on the Adobe team. If you guys haven't met him, he's awesome, but learned about the product recommendations from him this year. And he's like, oh man, yeah, just like if you got live search already, all you have to do is install the extension and product recommendations is basically ready to go. So we did that. We had to do a little bit of styling just to get it to match our page templates, and we wanted it to match the existing like similar styles recently viewed that's on the PDP. So we did a little bit of styling work with it, but as far as like the implementation of it, it is super, super easy. You can drag and drop them in Page Builder. Any CMS pages, homepage, landing pages, you can drop them on there have PDP integration like already out of the box. All you have to do is turn that one on. It's on your PDP automatically. You can also build out dynamic blocks to put in your PLPs or any other pages. And Mike, if you want to skip to the next slide, it shows a little bit of the configuration here. So custom rules, Namrata, your question. The custom rules are kind of built here. It's not completely customizable, but with these the inclusions and exclusions, you can really do a lot by kind of stacking those on top of each other. So what I would say is probably like if you want to exclude out of stock, go ahead and exclude those. We have an exclusion to where we're kind of excluding our lowest price category for our homepage recommendations. We only want to show the higher priced like upscale value items on the homepage. So we've got certain categories excluded, and that's what you can see here in this one. But it is it's like a lot of these kind of plug and play cloud-based tools. It is limited to the parameters that they give you, but they have tried to make it as kind of intuitive as possible, and it does give you a lot of flexibility and options. There are also, in addition to these recommendations, I should have included a slide that kind of shows the recommendations types. I went through those a minute ago, but it's, trending will be the most clicked on, most viewed items on the site. That's a really easy one. Recommended for you is going to be based on your specific user's behavior and shopping behavior as they're on the site in that session. And if they are logged in previous sessions, or if they've been to the site a few times, it'll definitely pick up their past behavior just based on the cookies. So product recommendations, I would say, as far as bang for the buck, once you have catalog services in place, this was a really, really easy one. Aside from the like front end development time, just to match the styling, which was just a few hours, we were able to get this up and running like pretty much immediately. And again, the cool thing about the catalog services based services is each of these, like if you see on the left side here, the product recommendations, if we were to switch one of these to inactive, immediately go to that page and it's gone. If it's inactive and you want to activate it, switch it to active, go directly to the page and it's already there. It's already displaying your recommendations. So it's kind of working on all the logic in the back end as it's going, and it's able to just like spit that out real time. And again, this product Rex does give you some basic analytics, including like the number of impressions, the number of views, clicks, revenue, lifetime revenue for that recommendation, and click-through rate. So, this I think is a great tool where you can set up like duplicate. Just as a really quick and dirty example, we have on our homepage right now recommended for you products that's based on the user behavior. If we wanted to set up a duplicate of that, but change it to trending products and do an A/B test where 50% of the users see one, 50% of the other users, the other 50% of users see the trending products, we would then be able to see which one of those is actually getting more traction, more click through and conversion, like immediately right here on the screen. So that's a pretty cool, easy win. So that I think that was my last slide, but hopefully that got through everything. And I see a couple of other questions. Srinu, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. If we want to add custom attributes in the popover and PLP, there is, unfortunately, in the live search popover and PLP, there is not a configuration, like there's not an option to, in the product attribute, like display on catalog pages. You're not able to add that to the PLP widget, for example, or the popover. So you would need to actually modify the code in order to do that. And that's something that I'm looking at having contracted out right now for the PLP widget. So if you wanted to reach out to me, I'd be glad to fill you in on how that goes in a month or two once we get there. Custom attribute filters like category type or visibility. For the search results page, you absolutely can. That is going to be custom code that you'll need to do. But we had our developer, it's actually so we have an in-house dev team, but we have a third-party SI that we work with for kind of heavier lift items. We had them basically build out our search results page to mirror our existing PLP filters as closely as they could, and I would say they got it like 99% there. The visual aspects of it is a little bit different. There's a kind of the checkbox is a little different, and they do default to being exploded versus like closed on load. But other than that, we were able to get it like 99% of there. All of this is now native feature in Magento. It absolutely is. Third-party APIs and models are not required, but you will need to contact Adobe to get catalog services enabled and to work on that integration. But Adobe Cloud Services should be able to help you out with that. You should be able to reach out to your CSR and get that set up. Max rules creations, I don't believe that there is. I think it's pretty much unlimited with the product recommendations and the search facets.
Awesome. Any more questions for Michael?
I have a big one for the group, and it might not be a big one, but does anyone, I can wait to see if there are more for Michael first.
Go ahead. Nobody's typing, it looks like. So
I was wondering if anyone uses a search solution that actually does search CMS pages as well, and not just products. Like Elastic Suite doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's needed. So I just didn't know if anyone has found anything. Oh.
Yeah, we're in the process of implementing it's a third-party search solution, but Coveo is the one that we're using for both catalog and marketing content, and
Okay.
it does a pretty good job.
Gotcha. And I have heard, there is a little bit, Algolia does, yeah. Have heard that there is, you can do a little bit of a workaround if you wanted to try and put in a specific URL for a specific query. I think these days, the way that people are searching with long tail searches and like actually asking questions, it's going to be really hard to nail exactly what it is. But there is an opportunity. Yeah, Algolia and Clevu both do that. Fantastic. And I mentioned like the silly prices of a lot of those services at the beginning of the call. Thankfully, that technology has really democratized over the past few years. I know Clevu, SearchSpring were really, really economical when I looked at those. And Algolia and Constructor have also come down back out of the astronomical levels. So. And you guys can verify if that's true or not, but at least from what I've seen, it's kind of a lot more approachable than it used to be.
Great, noted.
Yeah, and Michael, there's one more question on product recommendations as far as if you can introduce custom attributes.
Product recommendations, can you introduce custom attributes? It is, I don't know that you can. It is a little bit, it's kind of a black box the way that it is, the way that they're set up. Can you explain like a little bit more like what kind of custom attribute you would use? Would this be like a customer attribute or a product attribute? Because I can while you're writing, you could, if you're looking at showing specific items to specific customers, you could definitely do some segmentation, product attributes filter. Yeah, that with the product attributes, it's a little bit of a black box. It's kind of you are able to on this page, like the filter products. It does have the exclusions, but it is kind of limited on that. Product, I'm not sure. Tell you what, why don't we, as we go through the rest of the presentation, I'll dig into the back end and see if we're able to add product attributes in that product section. It is a little bit of a black box though, and that it just kind of, it's like, hey, here's the recommendations that we can give you. Here's the inclusions and exclusions, and that's kind of what it is. But I'll dig into the back end of my admin panel and see what options it gives you. And yeah, just to follow up on that, on the personalization side, like you could definitely do different product recommendations and display them in different dynamic blocks for different customer segments. And that's something that we're really looking to get into this year of, just being able to showcase for, if you're an interior designer, we'll show you one set of product recommendations. If you're a retailer, we'll show you another. If you're a different kind of customer looking for lower end products, we can show you those as well. But that can be done with like the dynamic blocks and personalization tools.
Good deal. So as you look into that, we'll loop back around, and Shrenu, if you have additional questions, we can put you on during the Q&A session. If I think we'll use the raise hand feature there. So I think we have one more section here, and Ingrid will be going through that. Ingrid, brief introduction to yourself.
Oh, we can skip this so we have time for everything.
All right.
Yeah, that's okay.
You can read it later.
Hi, all. I'm Ingrid. We can go past this. Yeah. So Ryan, who is our other user group leader that co-leads with Mike and I, is not able to be here today, but given the topic of this user group, I wanted to just speak really quickly about the AI admin assistant feature that he has been building. There's a link there so you can see it in GitHub. But really, it's what I can determine, and he and I were not able to speak. So reach out to him for sure if you were interested in this or want to talk more about this. But but I think it can be used in a myriad of different ways, not just for an admin assistant. So if you have people on your team, you're training a team, you're a developer and you're training a team how to use things. My take on this is that you can garner sources from your own admin, back end. You can go to Experience League. You can use any chatbots online that have information and create an admin assist in the back end. That will, you could ask it to run reports. You can ask it to, how do I create a company? Where do I put in the sales representative or anything of those details, I think. He and I weren't able to connect about it. So I really want to just say, reach out to him if this is something you're interested in talking more about. And Mike, if you have anything to add, you can.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go on.
Okay. Yeah, he's got a couple of slides here too that I'll go through. Again, this is Ryan's thought, so you can see it's basically some detail around the GitHub piece that he has there. So
Yep.
When you look about how did he come about learning more about the domain within AI? So fine tuning. It's costly to do training and slow to update, but it's faster from a response perspective. This MCP universal protocol to let AI access any external resources. So again, as he's building this module, as well as RAG or RAG is what they're using to actually build the AI assistant. And there's some specific pipeline of bringing relevant information to the context. With that, these are some of the tools, and again, some links here, but you can search these pieces to get that. You'll see some of those also referenced in that GitHub repository that was linked before. Some lessons that Ryan learned. Again, we'll let him kind of talk about this next time around, but large language models aren't predictable. I think we all experience that in our own usage of those, but I'm sure in the training as well. Security is a bit different. Prompt injection, guardrail, sensitive information leakage. So you got to be careful what you are indexing and what is able to be retrieved from those systems. And then test-driven development in LLM. So testing and doing evaluations from there. So again, we can have him speak a bit more about this. It's a little bit of architecture that Ryan had put together as he's thinking about how to put this together. So how the different systems would connect through the different endpoints from user data, system, user behaviors, as well as product information. So again, as Ingrid said, this is more of Ryan's piece. Please reach out to him directly if you have interest in the AI admin. But from here, we're going to open it up for a bit here to group discussion. There are some questions here on.
Yeah, and I can help.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know Admin Assistant is learning from a current store database? Yes, Ryan's working on that. And so I assume he's either using his test store. So yes. And is there any report for admin users based on the prompt? I assume so on that question, because you can train it. As far as I understand, you train it for what you want it to show. So I would assume yes. If an admin uses the chatbot to request something like create a product and make it available on Supercharge, can the system automatically perform this action instead of requiring manual clicks? That I don't know. I don't want to make an assumption. My assumption would be no on that question, but I'm not positive. I don't know that it can perform actions. It's really to tell you how and where to find the actions in the back end. Does that help? Hopefully.
There's another general question here too. How should we recommend to customers when we have Adobe Sensei versus Athos Commerce? Lots of different options. Any place to find pros and cons. I mean, this obviously this is an Adobe user group, so you're going to have more people using the Adobe products here. But there are a lot of even when we selected Adobe, personally, we used some of the third-party review sources and customer testimonies and those sorts of things. But it is a good point. There's many solutions out there now. It's hard to know which ones are the best ones. Michael or Ingrid, do you all know of any just kind of independent review sites to recommend people to?
I don't really know of any independent review sites. What I would say is it really depends on your use case and what you need to be able to do. With Srinu's question of adding the custom product attributes into product recommendations. Adobe's native solution may not support that, but Algolia, I believe, does. So some of these paid things are going to offer you more customization. From my organization standpoint, we're kind of trying to get the most that we can out of the platform before we look at third party, and coming from kind of a bit of a clunky implementation previously. Every little piece helps, and if we can do it on Adobe's platform without having to go to a third party, that's even better. However, a lot of those third parties now, especially with the search and the product recommendations, it's a script that you throw on the page header, and they do the rest of the work. So the development there is pretty easy. I'm
gonna just say something really quickly that surprisingly, the Magento sub on Reddit isn't that bad.
Mm-hmm. It's actually good. Yeah.
Yeah. When I've had some technical questions or asked about certain extensions, what people thought of them, it actually, there's people that speak up there and let you know what their use case is and how they use it. And so it's not a bad one to go to if you're not finding the reviews on the marketplace, obviously, if people aren't reviewing it on the marketplace, or if you're not trusting those.
Yep.
Yeah, and I would say, if you can find somebody else, you can ask, if you go to Algolia or Constructor or any of them, find me some users that are in my industry and let me talk to them. That would be my probably top recommendation, because I think it's hard to, even in a detailed review, it's hard to put into real words, what the stumbling blocks were and what the pain points are, in a way that you can get out of a very, very short conversation with a practitioner. And that's another great thing about this group. So happy to be here. Thank you, Mike and Ingrid.
We're happy to have you. There's a question on the customer chat help desk feature and plan for Adobe. Not that I've heard, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. There are a lot of solutions for that out there that are very much, just a script in the header, plug and play. We use one called Live Chat. It's very easy. You're able to kind of put in scripts very similar to Zendesk, something like that. Kind of, if the customer asks this, this is the answer. There's a number of very, very reasonably priced solutions out there now.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap. Yeah.
All right. So we got 10 minutes left. I do want to go ahead and get to some topics for our next session to make sure. So,
Mike, before you do that, I did find, I went into the configuration on the product recommendations. I don't know if you're on the Google Doc. I put one extra slide on there. Sure. It's at the very, very end.
Yeah, I might have to refresh here. Give me just a second.
Yeah, gotcha. Sorry about that. Just wanted to
you're right.
show the full set of options. And again, it is definitely limited, but we can go through the options that are there.
Yeah, it's chugging. It would be here, I think.
Yes, there it is.
All right, let me put it into slideshow mode here. Go away, everything.
Gotcha. So Sunu, I think this was your question on the product recommendations. Unfortunately, and I don't even know if this is something you could add with, I don't think that we're really able to modify the code here. I think that would be like a custom feature request from the Adobe team. Although I think the addition of filtering based on product attributes is like a very valid use case that I would love to see. So I would definitely I'd be in the line too for that as well. So next time I speak to our CSR, I can ask him about that. But so these are kind of the options that it gives you. Category and price are pretty self-explanatory. Out of stock, low stock is pretty obvious too. But I just wanted to show you. So for the product or the product selection, you're able to, if you wanted to say, only show products from this group of products, whether it's 10 or 100 or 1,000, you just enter in those products there by SKU. So that's one way that you can do it. You can also filter by product type. I guess if you wanted to show like all of the virtual products or all of downloadable products or something like that in a recommendation, or show all bundles, maybe that would be helpful. This one doesn't really seem that helpful to me because all of our products are configurable with simple variants. So that one doesn't really seem that helpful to me, but maybe in a different use case. And then you're also able to do visibility. So if you have stuff that only shows up in catalog or in search and you want those to show, you can select that. So that's basically what we're given out of the box. I'm hoping that they're planning on adding more to this. And I definitely think product attributes is probably the number one candidate for additions. So I'm going to try and put in a word for that. Who knows where it'll go, but love the idea.
Yeah, definitely. And I see a use case here. We'll take some of the comments from the team of things that they would like to see in the Adobe product and make sure to pass those along to the Adobe team that we work with here. So. All right, real quick, we've got 5 minutes. There's a QR code here. If you don't mind snapping that on a separate screen, I have kind of the results for next topics. I think you can click multiple on there. I think that's the way that I set that up. But if you don't mind, go ahead and snap that and let us know what you're interested in. I know we had a previous one, a few user groups before, which is where we got some of the topics that we're going through now. So we kind of know based off of that priority what some of our next might be, but we like to just make sure that we're still on the same page with the topics that are most interesting to everyone.
Like we have someone that says you're seeing the account as limited screen. I'm getting the same thing. It's asking you to upgrade.
Well, hold on. Let me see if I can. Is there a way I can delete other things?
Innate workflow integrated with a direct add to cart URL plugin. Interesting.
Yes, we have a plugin that allows us to provide. We use it for our room visualizer add-on, and so it basically we can give a third party a link that when the user clicks on it, it adds that item directly to the cart. But I think you could have a live chat sort of workflow. It might not even need to be innate in or something built out. You might even be able to do it in a chat bot, but just be able to provide those answers with the correct URL. But I love the way that you're thinking, certainly, of kind of agentic shopping within the commerce experience would be incredible.
Ingrid, can you give that a try again?
Yeah, sure. I'm getting the same thing.
Well,
I'll just refresh just in case.
Okay, maybe just put in the chat which ones that you're interested in most. I know from our previous surveys that we had done, I'll figure out a different survey option that we have in the future. But in our previous, there was a lot of interest on Commerce Optimizer and the new sales offering. So those are definitely topics of interest. Yep, Commerce Optimizer, Commerce Cloud, Commerce Optimizer. So yeah, put things that interest you there in the chat. We had kind of planned on probably the next topics, again, given the previous surveys, being around those topics, and we'll probably bring someone in from Adobe to be able to talk about those. Looks like there are similar levels of interest. Okay, last slide. Currently, our next meeting will be February 25th. We'll need to make sure that that works for everyone's schedules before we put that on, but kind of pencil that in for right now. Also, we have links here for the Slack channel for this particular user group, as well as there's a LinkedIn user group for all commerce user groups that you can access there. And then you also have the leader emails here, should you have any questions on things we covered today. And I think that is pretty much it for now. Ingrid or Michael, anything that you all want to add?
No, that's obviously Ryan's for anyone who wants to ask about the AI admin assistance.
Yes. Yeah. The email down there at the would be the contact there. All right. Well, Michael, thank you very much for your guest speaking with us here. It was a great session.
Awesome, Michael.
Definitely learned some new things there.
Yeah,
I'm going to add my email to the chat real quick. If anybody wants to reach out to me, more than welcome to.
Perfect. Thank you. And thanks all of our attendees. Again, for those watching on the recording, thank you all. And we'll talk again soon.
Bye all.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.